Coca Cola India is in the midst of unfolding an elaborate rural strategy backed by an aggressive distribution and marketing plan for its flagship brand, Coke.
What we want to do through this campaign is to connect with the hinterland of India.
Hello everyone, Coca-Cola doesn't require any introduction. Whenever you have a soft drink, there's a high chance that it's from this soft drink giant. Be it Fanta, Sprite, Thumbs Up, all these are owned by the Coca-Cola company. And guys, if you take a look at the Indian market, India is the 5th largest market by volume for the Coca-Cola company. But wait, before you press the back button and quit the video, I want to assure you that this is not going to be the typical video on Coca-Cola depicting its dark side or success story or its popular business war with Thumbs Up. This story of Coca-Cola dates back to the early 1990s when Thumbs Up finally gave up and got acquired by the Coca-Cola after a fierce competition. After that point, Coca-Cola was ruling the Indian soft drinks market and their sales have reached a peak. Consequently, the growth was almost flat. Back then in the early 2000s, the Coca-Cola company more or less catered the urban markets till they realized the untapped potential of the Indian rural market. And finally, it was early 2002 when Coca-Cola decided to full-fledgedly venture into the Indian rural and suburban markets. Indeed, the real Indian market is there in the rural India. But guys, every great opportunity comes with an equal magnitude of challenges. And here in this case, the biggest challenges were the rural consumer behavior was very different from the urban one. People in rural India back then had a preference towards traditional drinks like lassi, aam panna, lime juice, etc. Also, owing to the erratic electric supply, most of the retailers didn't stock cold drinks. But guys, despite all these challenges, the Coca-Cola company managed to get a substantial footprint in the rural markets of India. And guess what? Today, rural and suburban India contributes around 38% to the overall business of Coca-Cola. This episode on Coca-Cola is dedicated to its strategies which they used to capture the Indian rural market and became the market leader there as well. If you're an entrepreneur or aspires to be one, this rural strategy of Coca-Cola is going to be very insightful for you to understand the Indian rural market and how you can also tap the underlying potential of it by following the strategy Coca-Cola used. So be with us till the end. Guys, after realizing the fact that the urban strategies will not work in the rural part, Coca-Cola reworked on its market entry strategy. Guys, every strategy is devised as a solution to the problems. And the three major problems for Coca-Cola in the rural India were: first, since the road and transportation infrastructure was not well built, there was a distribution problem. And to counter this, they had to work on the availability of their product. The second problem was, most people in rural and suburban India were not economically sound and couldn't afford expensive products. To counter this, Coca-Cola had to work on the affordability of its product. And third, the consumer behavior and consumption habits in rural India was very different from the urban India. So to be successful, Coca-Cola had to work on the acceptability of its products. So after all these, the 3A strategy, that is availability, affordability and acceptability, was the reason behind the astounding success of the Coca-Cola company in the rural markets. Guys, let's understand all these strategies in more detail. So when Coca-Cola entered the rural markets, as per the strategy, its main goal was to make sure the availability of its product. And for that, they need to strengthen their distribution network. And also in the urban markets, they used to follow a centralized distribution system. Now guys, what is a centralized distribution system? In this, the products were directly transported from the manufacturing plants to the retailers. Now, owing to the lack of proper transportation infrastructure, this distribution system could not be used in rural market, as a result of which Coca-Cola opted for a hub and spoke distribution system. As per this model, Coca-Cola set up a hub between the villages and its plant. The stock was transported to the hub in large trucks, and from that hub, it then went to the spokes which were situated in the small towns in some small to medium commercial vehicles, from where it was further distributed to the retailers in auto rickshaw, cycles, etc. This change in distribution model and usage of varied modes of transport helped them cope up the logistical challenges in the rural areas. Moreover, Coca-Cola distributed refrigerator to its retailers as well. With all such rural distribution initiatives, Coca-Cola India was able to double its presence in the rural India from almost 80,000 villages in 2001 to almost 160,000 villages in 2003. In just a matter of 2 years, Coca-Cola India doubled its presence in the rural India. So guys, with this, the Coca-Cola India was quite stable with its supply chain side. Now comes the consumers. which is indeed the most important part of the business. Now, as discussed, there were two problems on the consumer side: the price and consumption habits. So here comes our second A, that is affordability. Indian rural markets were very price sensitive market. While as per the research and survey done by Coca Cola, its 300 ml bottle of rupees 10 back then was not popular there. Thus with this, Coca Cola India launched Chota Coke of 200 ml just for rupees 5. And it also sounded to be a necessary step because many local soft drink brands in the state of Rajasthan and Gujarat like Tikli, Choice had already adopted this strategy to attract the price-sensitive rural customers even before Coca-Cola decided to enter the rural markets. Due to which, Coca-Cola has lost a few percentages of market share to these local players. But guys, as the saying goes, better late than never. So Coca-Cola was all set with its Chota Coke and heavy marketing budget to conquer the Indian rural markets. Thus with this, the third strategy or the third A comes into play, that is acceptability. This is the step which requires heavy marketing and branding, and indeed Coca-Cola is a marketing genius. They heavily focused on two channels of marketing and advertisement. First, offline channels, and second, television. As of offline channels, Coca-Cola put up huge hoardings in the villages and painted the walls with Coca-Cola. You must also have noticed the walls painted in Coca-Cola in the villages. Also, one of the major sources of business activity and entertainment in the rural India is weekly mandis or haats. And of course, this brings forward an amazing branding opportunity for Coca-Cola through these haats, and they have made use of it by setting up temporary retail outlets. And coming to the television ads, here also Coca-Cola strategized its branding pretty well. Here, before trying to understand the core aim of Coke's marketing attempt, let me bring your attention towards a very prevailing situation. Like, you might have noticed that many people use the word toothpaste and Colgate interchangeably. And the same goes for photocopy and Xerox. There are many such examples. Guys, do let us know some more in the comments. So coming to the point, the question is, why am I telling all these? What does this have to do with the Coca-Cola? Ladies and gentlemen, Coca-Cola also focused on the same. All of its commercials and ads focused at a single thing, that is, making Coke a generic name for the word Dhandha. Indian people generally ask their guests Dhandha ya garam, as Dhandha is a widely used word which refers to the cold drinks like lassi, soft drink, lime juice, etc. Thus Coca-Cola, by leveraging this widely used word, want to create a trigger that whenever someone says Dhandha, Coca-Cola must come into their mind. With this aim, Coca-Cola geniusly strategized their advertisement accordingly. So basically, they made a 3 set of commercials, and all of these 3 ads focused on one single thing, that is Dhandha matlab Coca-Cola. In the first ad, brand ambassador Aamir Khan is featured as a street smart guy who makes the association with the word Dhandha and Coca-Cola. Thus, in this first step, the connection of these two words were established.
चले ठंडा दे शक्कर दे क्या रहा है अबे तो आदमी है कि अंडा तेरे से ठंडा मांगा ना ठंडा ठंडा ही तो है अबे फ्लावर पॉट ठंडा मतलब कोका कोला समझा
In the second ad, Aamir Khan is being featured as a Hyderabadi businessman who again equates the two words Dhandha and Coca-Cola. But guys, there is a very minor difference in it from the first ad. Here in this ad, the shopkeeper is asking customers to ask for Dhandha instead of Coke. This step even strengthens the message that Dhandha matlab Coca-Cola.
अच्छा बाबा ठंडा दीजिए।
हाय जन्नत, तुम्हें प्यार से ठंडा बोलते हैं, हमें प्यार से कोका कोला खोलते हैं।
थैंक यू भैया।
भैया।
In the third ad, Aamir Khan is a Punjabi farmer who offers Coca-Cola to the ladies who were asking for Dhandha. So this final ad very cleverly showed that whenever someone asks for Dhandha, one gets Coca-Cola. And ladies and gentlemen, this had not just impacted the rural customers quite well, but also increased the brand awareness of Coca-Cola substantially in the Indian rural markets. And guys, needless to say, these strategies helped Coca-Cola become the leader in the rural soft drink segment, and also its rural penetration increased substantially over the years. As of February 2022, sales in the rural market contribute to almost 38% of the overall business of Coca-Cola. And guys, seeing all these, even PepsiCo followed the exact same strategies to expand its business into the rural markets. So that's all for this episode, guys. Do like the video if you found it insightful, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel for more such business videos.